Kitkatscanread.
Hey everybody, my name is Katie. Welcome to another video. I hope you are all doing good. I am finally bringing to you guys my mid-year book freakout tag. I did this one last year. I tend to do it. Everyone tends to do it halfway through the year, like July time is like pretty much the midpoint. But it's basically where you talk about like your best and worst books and your favourites from the first half of the year so far. It's kind of like a mid-year review, and I really like doing this as well because it then helps me to get like my goals in check and to be like, oh shit, literally, like I'm not doing good, or like great, I'm on track, and so on and so forth. I will leave all of the questions in the description box below, so you can like check them out. You can do the tag yourself, you can answer in the comments, whatever you so wish. So the first question is, what is the best book that you've read in the year so far? So I was looking through all the books I'd read, and the other ones that aren't rereads, because I'm trying to not do rereads, this is Baby Love by Jacqueline Wilson. I gave this an Audiobook KT star, which is basically like a 6-star rating, and it's like a book that I would read again, a book that I would recommend over and over. I really enjoyed this book. It's about in the 1960s, what it was like for young teenagers to be pregnant, and it is really sort of like very emotional. Jacqueline Wilson has a great way of getting you emotionally involved. It's really tough, kind of like triggering in that sort of sense of like teen pregnancy, and just like the emotions that comes with like new friendships and family and other females in the same boat. And yeah, it just makes you realise to be really grateful for all the things that you've got, because there are people in these families that don't own like a TV, a fridge, a washing machine, you know, like all of the normal stuff that we would all have, and it definitely makes you feel grateful for what you got. And I think that is a great reason why this was a favourite of mine so far this year. So we'll see if we can get an overtaking of this book. But yes, more people need to read this and pick it up. It's definitely great. Jacqueline Wilson has killed it again. The next question is, what is the best sequel that you've read this year so far? So I actually haven't read a lot of sequels this year, which isn't great because it is one of my goals to continue more series, or to finish them. And so the only one that I got to go towards this one really is Saga volume number 4. So I think this was actually a reread anyway, but yeah, this is like, it was kind of like reading it new all over again, because the last time I read this was like years ago when it pretty much first came out. So yeah, reading it all over again. I love the artwork style of these Saga graphic novels. They are really gory and it's very adult and explicit, but they're really colourful at the same time, and it's just such a random storyline. But like, I'll just show you like some artwork that is in this graphic novel, but I think it's great. Like, I have loved like every one of these so far. When I first read it, I didn't really like it. I used to give it like 3 out of 5 stars, but yeah, I ended up giving this a 5 out of 5 Kit Kats, and yeah, I really enjoyed this, and I look forward to reading the next volume, which I do actually own, which is volume number 5. But yeah, this is a nice quick read, and yeah, really enjoyable. And if you don't know, this is basically the story of like two people. It's very sci-fi adult graphic novel series. Two people from different planets who are kind of like forbidden to be together, pretty much like have a baby, and the baby is like the protagonist of the story, and like everybody is after this child and after these parents, and they're like on the run, and yeah, there's just all sorts of like madness going on and craziness, and yeah, it's great. I love it. So yeah, definitely the best sequel so far. The next question is, what is a new release that you want to read? So this could be like going towards quite a lot of books, because when I was at Yale I picked up loads of like new books, but a book that I do really want to read is from a favourite author of mine, and that is Bridget Camera, and this is Forging Silver into Stars. So I actually purchased this from Foyles when I was in London, and luckily I did, because I took it with me to Yale and I met the lovely Bridget Camera and she personalised and signed it. Like, she's such a lovely and amazing author. But this is like her new and latest book that's out at the moment. That's a fantasy, and I've just loved every one of her books. She's great at contemporary, she's great at fantasies, like she's just an amazing author. So yeah, I'm super excited to give this a read, and I'm pretty damn sure that I am going to love and enjoy it. The next question is, what are your most anticipated releases for the rest of the year? I actually just filmed a video of that because it was like worthy of doing a video, but I would just list like a few for you guys. So I've got like Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood, Carrie Soto's Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid, With Fire in Their Blood by Kat Delacourt, Foul Lady Fortune by Chloe Gong, Defend the Dawn by Bridget Camera, It Starts With Us by Colleen Hoover, Scions by Josephine Angelini, First to Die at the End by Adam Silvera, Charm and Cherish by Tracy Wolfe, Gleaning Stories from Archivist Life by Neil Schusterman, and 1,000 Heartbeats by Kira Cass. So those are quite a lot of releases, but yeah, feel free to check out that video, which will contain a lot more. The next question is, what is the biggest disappointment read that you've had this year? For me, this was Alice in Wonderland. So in a way, I'm glad that there was a book that I was really disappointed with. I just could not get into this book. I honestly feel like the author of this book was on something, or stoned, eating mushrooms, drunk, or all of those above, because it made no sense whatsoever. It was a strange book that was bizarre and crazy. I feel like the Disney adaptation will make more sense. Like the Disney cartoon would make more sense, because I feel like even the Tim Burton one is crazy and wacky. I have watched the Tim Burton one, but reading the actual book, I just could not get into it. It was just boring. I hated it. I DNF'd it. I think for what I read, I tried to rate it, and I think it was, yeah, I just couldn't. And whenever I DNF a book, I end up giving like 1 out of 5 anyway because of that. And it just wasn't good. It really wasn't good. So yeah, it was the first book that I read of the year, I believe, as well. So it wasn't a good start to the year. Normally the first book that I read of the year is a great book, but this year it was an awful book. Do not read it. Lewis Carroll, what on earth? How did it become a children's classic? I've no idea. The story, yes, okay, great. Alice going into this wonderland of like things with Queen of Hearts and all these characters, blah blah. That sounds great, you know. But like the conversations and how it's written is really bizarre. Like really, really bizarre. And unfortunately, I just didn't like it. So I'm sorry if it's one of your favourite books ever. This is honestly just my opinion. I'm so sorry. Next of all is, what is your biggest surprise this year? And I would have to say the book that I was most surprised I ended up enjoying in the end is The Chaos of Stars by Kirsten White, because I was struggling to get used to the writing style of this to start with. But I would like to say, like, from the halfway point to the end, I really ended up enjoying this, and I got really used to the writing style, and I wish there were like more books of this one. I just ended up being surprised by the second half of this book. Next question is, what is your new favourite author? So I've read a lot of like authors that I've enjoyed this year, that I've read from before, and so if I had to go with a brand new author, I would go with Tracy Wolfe, who's the writer of the Crow series. I've only read the first book in this series, but I do want to continue the series. I love the Twilight books. They're one of my favourite book series, and this is highly compared to it. Although reading it as an adult, I have to try and read it when I'm in like my early teen self, because it is in that way of like cheesiness, but there are elements of this that are really, really good. So yes, I would say Tracy Wolfe. I look forward to reading more of your books. The next question is your newest fictional crush. I've not really had like a lot of crushes. Like from the Crave book, I wouldn't say that I was crushing on any of the guys, but there was a guy from this book called Orion, from The Chaos of Stars, that I actually really liked. I really liked his character, and yes, he's probably like good old fictional crush. And then it goes to, what is your new favourite character? This would actually have to be a creature. So this is from the House of Earth and Blood, Crescent City book number 1 by Sarah J Maas. I really like the pet chimera in this book. Definitely my favourite character. When it comes to mind, I'm like thinking all the books I read so far this year, a pet chimera. it's great. Like biting the bottom of Hunt, like just one of the best scenes, and it will forever stay in my mind. Next question is, what is a book that made you cry? I've not cried at anything that I've read so far this year. It really takes a lot to make me cry at books. Next question is, what is a book that made me happy this year? If I had to pick any books, I don't really want to pick talk about like rereads, but I have to because I have read some rereads this year. So I would have to say the rereading all of the Heartstopper books. So I will hold up my new edition of the Netflix version, which has good old Kit and Joe on the front and the back. Heartstopper, probably like my favourite TV show ever at the moment. I have lost count of how many times I have watched it and love it so much. I watch it like all the time, and yes, it's great. So yes, I reread the whole series when the TV show was coming out, and I love them all over again. They are ultimate Katie stars all the time, and yes, I'm so happy that I've got the TV edition. I don't often buy like several editions of books these days because I'm just like, oh, where am I going to put them all? But this is just one that I have to have all the editions for. So when they bring out the second one with them on, I want it. The next question is, what is the most beautiful book that you've purchased so far this year? The one that I had to go with, this was actually one, a cover by, and two, it's got dragons in it. This is When Women Were Dragons by Kelly Barnhill. But look at that dragon eye just there, but look how gorgeous this is. I have got other really gorgeous books as well, especially from like Illumicrate and Faraday, because they always have the beautiful like covers and the edges. But out of like most recent purchase, this would definitely have to be the one. But it sounded great, like absolutely great, and they're really pitching this, and I had to get my hands on it because like dragons, females, and gorgeous cover, I couldn't resist. So is, what books would you like to read before the end of the year? I have also got a list of this, but I will just like pitch to you some books that are on there. I've got Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I have no idea where I've put that actually. It's my hardback. I've got it somewhere. It's in a box, so I will need to read that at some point. Obviously all the books are in my currently reading pile. With Fire in Their Blood by Kat Delacourt, I'd like to get that. Uglies by Scott Westerfeld. I've got a list of books I'd like to read this year, so like any book from that, and books from my Unhaul project as well. So yes, there will be a video detailing all of that pretty soon. And then finally it's like what booktubers you have discovered. So like basically since my last mid-year tag until now, how many booktubers I've discovered of out of my favourites. I have become friends with some really great booktubers in all of that time, and I have a group chat of us on Twitter to mention. We have like It's Hope Books, Yarn Reader, Whimsical Narratives, Morgan Shelves, Books and Things with Alicia, and they are just a mass load of like booktubers that I've discovered in the past like year, and I love them so much. They are great friends of mine. I have got like old school friends I've had like way before then, but these are like the ones that I have discovered then. I've also, I really love watching the videos of Becca Fowle. She is one booktuber that I absolutely love watching her weekly vlogs of. I don't often watch them, but I'm just highly entertained by her videos, and it makes me want to read more. So I really love Becca Fowle and her videos. So yeah, we shall see like who else I discover like in the next year, to who will also make me read or watch more, or who I enjoy videos of. I still like watching the old school videos of like Hayley and Bookland and Becca and the Books and Steph Loves and Bookables. They have always been like favourites of mine to watch videos of. So yes, BookTube is a great and amazing place, especially when there's like some really positive moments that are part of it. So that is the end of my mid-year book freakout tag. I hope you enjoyed my answers. If you've done the tag, feel free to tag it down below, or answer the questions down below. Let me know your favourite book of the year, your least favourite book of the year. your favourite purchase, and so on and so forth. Any comments, just leave it down below. I love chatting with you guys. But yes, all my social media links will be linked down below in the description if you'd like to follow me elsewhere. And if you have enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, if you're not subscribed already and you would like to do so, please feel free to do so. Honestly, it will make my day so much. Click on the notification and it will let you know as soon as I've uploaded a video, because I don't have a schedule because of the job that I do, which is being a support worker. It's a crazy life and mental health mixed with it. I just cannot be on time with videos. It would just stress me out even more. Thank you so much for your patience and for your support as always. My name is Katie. Keep smiling, keep reading and be happy, and I'll see all of you wonderful awesome people in my next video. Bye.